good, y'all? It's your boy TJayGatsby, aka Carmelo Knight. Welcome to the debut episode of the Throw It on a Dime podcast. It's a working title. We might stick with it. It depends. But you saw it right. Episode 1, the playoff bracket breakdown. I got the boys with me. I got Zay. I got Eddie. I got Loft down there. Phil's going to be joining us soon. We all filled out our playoff brackets, and we're going to break it down, starting with the first round of the wild cards. So, Zay, yours was really interesting to me. So I'm gonna throw you up there first and see what you got to say for yourself.
All right. So, getting straight to the point right now, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Houston Texans. Right? I have faith that Houston's going to pull it out. Also, the Browns kind of suck. Right? So then we have, of course, the Baltimore Ravens making it on to the next round. Miami Dolphins versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I gave it to Kansas City. You know, I don't know much about the Dolphins. I just think Kansas City's got that one.
Okay.
Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks, so I'm giving it to Buffalo. Right? Moving on to the NFC side of the bracket, we have the Phillies versus the Buccaneers. I said the Phillies like this baseball. Eagles. Phillies got a nice history behind them. I think they can take it to the next round. We have the Rams versus the Lions. I don't know much about the Rams again, so I'm going with the Lions. And then once again, the Cowboys suck, so Green Bay going over them.
Damn. Okay, real quick. So I want to start on the AFC side. I like where you're going with the Texans. I got a similar. I chose the Texans also because when you look at it, the Browns, yes, they beat the Texans, but that was without CJ Stroud, and the Texans almost came back and won it. So with the healthy CJ Stroud, and you got a healthy Nico Collins this time too, I feel like this could be their chance. Now, I also agree with you on the Kansas City game because the Dolphins have been showing their ass recently, and I think this is going to be the same. And then Pittsburgh and Buffalo, I low key, uh, I think Pittsburgh might pull off the upset, but I'll get into that when we pull up mine. Now, Eddie, I saw that face you were making when Zay disrespected your Cowboys. So what you got to say about that one?
Bro. Tell me, anybody right now, tell me who is the best quarterback right now coming out of the NFC? Every one of those quarterbacks in the NFC, who is the best one? Y'all can't tell me. Who is it? Who is
Well, let's see who we're working with. So obviously,
Purdy.
we got Dak with the Cowboys. We got Jordan Love with the Packers. Already, you can throw Jordan Love out of there, right? You got Jared Goff with the Lions. You got Matt Stafford with the Rams. Baker Mayfield, get his ass out of there also. Then you got Jalen Hurts. Then for San Francisco, you got Brock Purdy.
Listen,
if we talk consistency, like just off of consistency, I throw it up between Dak and Jalen. But you got to remember also, anytime the playoffs come around, like Dak also shows his ass.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you, but look, this is what I think. I think this year is Dak Prescott's year to win the Super Bowl. This is his best chance right now. Like, y'all can agree. I think it's his only chance to win that Super Bowl.
You got a point.
So what's different this year than last year, though? Because, like, and I hate to break up the cliche, but Cowboys fans, y'all say that every year. This is Dak's year to win it.
Look, what I think is again, different coaching. We got Mike McCarthy calling the plays now. Look how much comfortable Dak Prescott is now compared to last year.
I feel like it comes down to how your players play. I feel like it comes down to how the players play under pressure. They tend to choke when it comes to the playoffs. When the pressure's on, they tend not to live up to the expectations.
Again, I'm not disagreeing, but we have to look at so far this season when they've been under pressure. If you look at again the If you exclude the Buffalo and the San Francisco game, we don't count the San Francisco game because that was before his little MVP type of run, bro. If we talk about, yeah, they lost against Miami, but when the pressure was on, Dak Prescott was the one that pulled through and gave him that leading drive, which ended up in a loss because the defense was just playing terrible that game, right? Again, in the Detroit game, Dak Prescott came down the field, led the Cowboys to a 20-13 lead, right? And again, they said Dak Prescott can't beat the 10 and something Eagles in Dallas. What did we do? We freaking storched the Eagles badly, right? I think this year is different because of how comfortable Dak Prescott is right now with the coaching, with the playmaking abilities, or with the plays that they're giving him. You know, Kellen Moore, I had a little bit of respect for him, but Mike McCarthy is a much better play caller right now than Kellen Moore. That's all I gotta say. I'll get into more detail right now.
Well, if you got anything to say,
Only thing is,
like he just on fat ass.
I just do my thing on. I think Brock Purdy's doing the best job as far as the QB, as far as the NFC goes. I want to believe in the Cowboys, but every time I decide to, they show me why no one should ever believe in them ever. So until I see actual proof of them doing what the hype says, then I'll stop. But I'm not the biggest hater of them, but I'm not the biggest lover either because they have nothing for me to approve of because it just looks like they know how to get somewhere, but when it's time to play a team like the Eagles in the playoffs, the Eagles always find a way to win. But they play another team that's also good, Dak messes up. So until Dak shows me that he can at least get to February without messing up, that's the kind of line I have him on. I know it's an unfair line because that's like he has to get to the Super Bowl or nothing at all. But for him to get they have the record every year, they have the hype every year, they have everyone screaming about them every year. They usually never have a really bad team. It's just a lack of execution. And that's something with a lot of teams. And the Cowboys always fall into that because they look great on paper. They look great on Madden. They look great on Sports Center. And then you go there and put them against a team who wants it more, and they fail. For whose fault is that? I can't really tell you because it's someone's fault every year. But they're gonna have to prove me something for them to actually go far. I think there's teams that are much hungrier than them and much better than them in this point in the year. So we're gonna see. I don't know.
See, I gotta agree with that also, but at the same time, and remember, this comes from someone who abhorrently hates the Cowboys, right? Growing up you're taught to hate the Cowboys. Even I think, and I don't want to go all the way and say this could be their year, but if they can get past Green Bay, and usually that would be a win instead of an if, and it's against Dallas, because yes, we've seen that Dallas has choked in the playoffs before. Most of their choking, it literally comes down to that last play. Like we saw last year, Dak tried to run it up the field and then tried to get them to spike it real quick, and then the clock got to them, right? The thing about Green Bay, they're a team this year who, in games where they shouldn't win, they somehow find a way to win. I'm going to bring up the Saints game. Now, I know the Saints were trash this year. Loft can agree as a Falcons fan, obviously. But that game against Green Bay, that was like beginning of the season when the Saints still had their shit together, where we still had hope. We should not have lost that game, but we did because Green Bay exploited the weaknesses we have on our defense and offense. And once they discovered those, they took full advantage of it. If Green Bay does that with Dallas this weekend, can find where Dak's weak spots are, right? Can stop Tony Pollard and keep CeeDee Lamb locked down. As long as they can do that on their defense, I think Jordan Love's offensive line can help him get down the field. I think they can I don't know who Green Bay's running back is because honestly, I don't give a fuck about Green Bay. But I feel like they can get him some yards, right? So if Green Bay can do that, then Zay's bracket could be right, and Green Bay could move on to Dallas. It just all depends on how Dallas, goes into the game, like what that mindset is. Because we all know Dallas has the eyes of the world on their back because it's what we go through every year. It's y'all's year, and then you choke in the first round. But I do think Dallas can beat Green Bay and get to the divisional round. Now, speaking of Dallas, Eddie, I'm gonna pop yours up. Let's look at your bracket.
All
Obviously,
right.
you got
God
Dallas
damn.
going all the way.
Ugh.
All right. So we're just gonna start off with the wild card round. We're gonna start off with the
Mhm.
AFC first because we all know that the NFC is the best of it is the best conference. So we gonna give the worst conference a little bit of love. So Cleveland versus Houston. Look, I know y'all say Cleveland is trash, but in my opinion, I think Cleveland is one of the teams that nobody wants to play right now. Solely because their offense right now is rolling. Joe Flacco, he just came off his couch like a couple weeks ago and he's leading this team to the playoffs. I mean, who the hell thought that would happen? But again, I think this Cinderella story with the Cleveland Browns ends with CJ Stroud because CJ Stroud is right now the better quarterback of the two, and I just believe he has enough to pull off the win for the Texans, right? So then we got Miami versus Kansas City. Miami, they choked to they choked their way into getting the 6 seed. I mean, I feel I don't even feel bad for them because their play is terrible right now. I mean, the fact that they had the division locked down a couple weeks ago and then they just shit the bed, literally, until the point where they gave it to Buffalo. It's crazy. And now they have to go on the road to play Kansas City. It's not gonna be hot like in Florida right now. It's gonna be I saw it was gonna be like negative something degrees. They
Yeah,
can't
last
play
time
in
I
that
checked
weather.
today, it's negative 30 wind chill right now.
Yeah, they can't play in that weather. Kansas City could. So I believe Kansas City, especially with the fact that they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to pull off that victory. And then who else is playing? We got the Buffalo Bills and we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, the Steelers, in my opinion, shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place. They found a way to make it to the playoffs. Um, TJ Watt is not going to play in this game. So, again, this is going to be a very easy victory for the Buffalo Bills. For the NFC, we got Philly versus Tampa Bay. Philly has been playing atrociously these past couple of games. They're what, 1-5 these past couple of games? I don't know what happened to them. They were dominating the league for like 11 straight weeks and then they just collapsed. I Dallas literally broke them, bro. Like, I don't even think San Francisco broke them like that. I think Dallas broke them. With that 33-13 loss, it was terrible for them. They haven't been the same since. The fact that they lost to the Cardinals and to the New York Football Giants, it makes me think that, bro, Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield's been playing very good. He's been playing pretty good to be able to win the division. I believe they have a shot to even beat the Philadelphia Eagles because they're on the road. Jalen Hurts has been struggling so bad lately with 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, which is crazy because that's the same amount of interceptions and touchdowns that Dak Prescott had last year. But where's the hate on Jalen Hurts? I don't see it at all.
Oh, that's
The amount of
Cab.
hate that, the amount of hate that Jalen Hurts is getting right now is so minimal compared to the hate Dak Prescott got last year. Okay,
Oh,
now Philly has a chance to win, but again, I feel like they're gonna find a way to shit the bed. So I think Tampa Bay is going to win that game. So then we got the LA Rams versus the Detroit Lions. This is like the best storyline game we have all week, solely because it's Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit, playing against Jared Goff, who his former team was the LA Rams. This game is all who's going to be the better quarterback of that game. And I believe it's going to be the LA Rams solely because of their offensive weapons they have so far. Like, they got Puka Nacua, they got Cooper Kupp, they got Kyron Williams. They got an elite offense right now that would literally beat down the Detroit secondary, bro. Detroit secondary has been playing horrible this year. We saw what CeeDee Lamb did to Detroit, 200 yards receiving. That's absolutely insane. And I just think LA Rams are going to find a way to pull off that win and go on to play San Francisco. So then we got Green Bay versus Dallas. Now, I know a lot of people think Green Bay is going to win, and there's a lot of people that think Dallas should win. Now, I believe Dallas is going to win because, look, Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay no more. The reason why we would lose to Green Bay is because of Aaron Rodgers' magician ability. Aaron Rodgers is not there no more. Jordan Love, he's good. He's got potential. But let's look at the stats. Green Bay is one of the bottom 17 ranked defenses in the league. If you're a bottom 15 ranked defense in the NFL and you're in the playoffs, you're going to get torched down from an elite offense. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are. Y'all can hate on Dak Prescott all you want, but let's be honest. He's second or third in that MVP conversation behind Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy, right? He lowered his interception numbers down from last year. He literally is playing out of his mind. This is his best year we've seen him play since like 2016. And then we have CeeDee Lamb, who literally proved every single hater wrong this year, saying that he wasn't a wide receiver one. Again, that duo, I'm going to feel so bad for that Green Bay secondary because they are pretty banged up right now. And again, y'all didn't play into this factor. Dallas is one of the most healthy teams right now in the playoffs. You do not want to play a healthy Dallas Cowboys offense. Look, we got one of the best offensive line in the NFL. We got the best duo in the NFL. It's going to be close, I believe. I think they're going to make it a challenge, Green Bay. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins by double digits.
Now, here's the thing, though, that we got to talk about. If Dallas does get by Green Bay, like you see, they're most likely going to be facing Tampa Bay. Or no, wait.
Yeah, if Tampa Bay wins, they would play.
Oh, you got Tampa Bay beating the L. Okay, yeah, I forgot you got Tampa Bay beating
I
Philly.
got Tampa Bay beating Philly.
But yeah, yeah. That going by yours, the Tampa Bay game would be a wash for Dallas. I feel like that'd be an easy win right there. Not even worry about that. But then here's where things get tricky. The team that's considered right now to be the big bad wolf of the NFC, the Niners, right? If Dallas gets to that NFC Championship game and they're across the field from the Niners, I mean, let's look who they're facing against. We got Deebo Samuel, right? We got George Kittle, the people's tight end. We got Nick Bosa. We got Brock Purdy in the pocket. Brock Purdy has been playing insanely this year. We're talking about Brock Purdy, who last year people tried to write him off, right? They thought he was going to be like one of the like a Mac Jones, like a Daniel Jones. But Brock Purdy took all that shit to heart. And he's proven, like you said, why he should be in the MVP conversation, right? Brock Purdy is putting up immaculate numbers that San Francisco has not seen since the last time they were in the Super Bowl, which was about good 3-4 years ago, right? If Sienna was here, honestly, she's a Niners fan, so she'll be able to tell you. But as someone who's not a Niners fan, I truly think the Niners could find themselves in the Super Bowl again this year. And if they play their cards right, they could be winning the whole damn thing. Again, it just all comes down to how they're going to prep for a Dallas because it's most likely going to be Niners and Dallas in the championship game. It's just
Yeah,
all
look,
depends on how they're
I
going to
don't.
plan for a Micah Parsons too.
Look, I don't disagree with you. Like again, that's gonna be the only team that we are again afraid of, right? The Niners. Can we get over that hump? But again, I don't like to use the regular season game as like a preview because for those first like couple of weeks, Dallas was struggling to even get in the end zone as an offense because they weren't really I guess they were not really finding themselves like their own identity since week 5. But after that, again, look at the numbers. You know, CeeDee Lamb got his touches up. Like they they increasingly upped his targets. Um, they knew what their game plan was after that Niner game. They knew what their mistakes were. So I think that game is going to be a lot closer that this time around. But again, it's all about look for Dallas right now. I think for that San Francisco game, it has to do with mentality. Like you have to go back to the '90s, bro. It was the same back then. The Cowboys were not the favorites when they were playing San Francisco. It was San Francisco. But they still had to find a way to beat San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl. That's what they have to do now. You know, they have to say, you know what? We can beat this team. That's why I believe right now Dallas is the only threat to San Francisco in the NFC. But again, it's all about their mentality. And I don't know. I feel like, look, again, I'm going with my gut and a little bit of bias for the NFC Championship, but I think Dallas is going to find a way to win. You know, I think it's over now. Like, I think that little drought that we're gonna have is over. That we had, it's over. You know, Dallas has found ways to win on a consistent basis and look like a contender. And it's been the first time we've seen this since like a long time ago. We had our doubts. You know, we as Cowboy fans had our doubts like years ago. Last year we even had our doubts because we were struggling as well. Like we had a chance to even get the 1 seed last year and we couldn't. Right? 2021 we had the 3 seed, but we were struggling. This year we were struggling a little bit with the whole can we win on the road? But again, it's that demon that we have to face. And I believe if there's a mentality change right there by the NFC title game, they can find a way to win against San Francisco.
Okay, okay. Now, Loft, yours is very colorful, and I like some of these choices you got here. Some of them I don't like, um, specifically on the AFC side, but we'll get to that in a minute. I see here you got a rematch from I'm trying to remember which year it was. I think it was 2013, where it was the Niners versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl. You got a rematch of that one. Okay,
Yeah.
so break this down for us. Break this down for us.
All right. I got Philadelphia defeating the Buccaneers. As bad as the Eagles have been sliding recently, they always find a way in these games to find a way to win. The Buccaneers are in this position for a reason, but they got in by default. I saw how they got in. The Eagles were already in here in the first place. I don't think the Eagles are going to make it far, but I highly doubt they're going to be an NFC South team that barely got in just because the Falcons suck, the Saints decided to suck now, and the Panthers are a terrible organization. So I'm going to take the Eagles in that. It's going to be close. I would be astonished if the Eagles lost that game. Yeah. As far as Detroit and the Rams go, I've liked this Detroit team ever since I say like week 3 when I first figured out who in the world Aiden Hutchinson was. I think he's going to be someone that is going to be a major player in this game. I'm not 100% sure how, but I do think that he is going to be one of the X factors that the Rams may not be 100% prepared for because he's not as high up on the list as some of the other players on the Lions may be. I think the Lions, again, it's going to be a close one, but I think the Lions are going to do it. Dallas and Green Bay, I kind of don't know why I picked Dallas here because I understand why Dallas could win, but it's just Green Bay seems like the hungrier team. And Jordan Love has been playing out of his mind this year. And they already found a starting quarterback this early in Jordan Love's Green Bay career. So it's like, I don't know. Part of me wants to pick Green Bay now because it's just I don't know, man. As good as Dallas can be, it's always about which team is hungrier. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think half the time when you're in these early playoff rounds, I don't think it's about who's the better team. I just think it's about who doesn't want to be one and done, who wants to show that they got at least into the real side of the playoffs, not just the wild card position. You know what I'm saying? And I just think Green Bay is a really hungry team. I don't know how hungry that's gonna. I don't know how much that hunger is gonna help them later on, but I don't know. No one's beating San Francisco. They're gonna run through everybody. I've seen enough with that team. Again, it would take a major collapse for them to not get to the Super Bowl this year. I just think that they're ready to go, especially after how last year went down. I think they're fully prepared to go, barring no more injuries, barring anything else. I thoroughly see them running through everybody here, and they've been my lock for the Super Bowl for a little bit now. I was a little bit worried about the Eagles when they were like at week 8, week 9, and then they started to just pretend like they don't know how to play football now. So I don't know what they got going on, but I think San Francisco is taking NFC no matter what. It really don't matter who's playing them. Cleveland and Houston, that's a toss-up. Honestly, I don't know that much about the Cleveland Browns, so I merely picked them just off of where I think the Texans, like how long I think the Texans will be able to hold on. Again, this could come down to which team is more hungry. You know what I'm saying? I don't think seeding really matters at this point unless you are a really, really good team. And these teams are good, but neither one of them are extremely better than the other. You know what I'm saying? So I still think Cleveland can do it. It's really still a toss-up, even though I pick Cleveland. Miami and the Chiefs. Miami is fool's gold to me. I see how they play, and they look great. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs have been going up and down. They're always a safe pick to go far just because of how great they are. They have one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in Patrick Mahomes. They have Travis Kelce. They have multiple people on this team that can change the game if needed. And Travis Kelce, when it comes to playoffs, that man turns it on. And he got the power of the mysterious up and coming star Taylor Swift. You know, I don't know if y'all know her, but she's on her way. She's
a local star from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
just a little local talent.
You know, she's on her way. So I just think that somehow, some way, the Chiefs are going to do it. I don't believe in how far that team can go. You know, I think they're very top heavy, honestly. But we'll see what happens.
I feel like I got to throw a couple Taylor Swift ones in here now when I talk about the Chiefs. Otherwise, it would be for not.
I was trying not to. Y'all know I don't like her, but it's right there.
You know, we got to get the views in there. We got to get a little bit of them.
You know what I'm saying? The Steelers and Buffalo. I just think Buffalo is a better team than the Steelers. I don't have really any animosity towards them. They're just the Steelers. So if they do it, cool. If I'm wrong about that, cool. But Buffalo is better on paper and better in every other way. So I think they're gonna find a way to do it. And Baltimore. As much as it angers me that Phil gets this joy and my team sucks, and Phil's been jumping around on TikTok for the past 15 weeks.
Your team's always sucked, though.
What? You say what?
Your team's always sucked, though.
I don't know who your team is, so you shut up.
I'm a Ravens fan.
Oh, of course you are. Forgot. The Ravens. I'm not going to get into Zay right now. He's goofy. The Ravens are an amazing team.
Hey, bitch.
I didn't interrupt you. Shut up. No one asked you for you to talk. No one want to hear you right now. Anybody clamoring for Zay? Shut up. The Ravens are a great team. And again, just like San Francisco, I don't think anyone's going to, when they're matched up against them, I don't think anyone is going to beat them, especially with how they've been playing this year. The Ravens always seem to get this far and then something happens, This isn't the first time the Ravens have been good. But again, this is at this point in the playoffs, that's where seeding is going to come down to. Now you're going to see who are really the good teams from the okay teams and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that this ends up being a number one seed versus a number one seed in the Super Bowl this year. I think that comes out to a great game and a little rematch from what I think at 2012, I guess.
2012, 2013.
Yeah. So go for it.
All right. Okay. Like a little explanation. All right. So now I'm pop up mine, and it's going to show some real bias. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be a little bit of bias, but I can explain this bias and at least tell you why it's not impossible, right?
Okay, he has doubts.
So obviously,
hell no.
He has doubts.
Wait, you got to hear me out. I truly think this is the year we're going to get the Lone Star Super Bowl. Now let me explain this, and I'm going to leave Dallas and Houston for last, right? Let's start with the NFC, top left. Philly and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, Loft, like you said, they lucked their way into the spot. All right. Tampa Bay, first of all, it came down to that last game. If they were facing anyone other than the Panthers, they would have lost that game, and it would have been the Saints in the playoffs. And then the Saints could have probably pulled it off and beat Philly. We did it last year, but they most likely would have got knocked out in the wild card. Okay. Either way, Philly is going to move on and face the Niners. In that matchup, I think Jalen and the Eagles are going to turn it back on. They're going to remember who the fuck they are and get their shit back together, right? They're going to redefine the tush push, whatever the fuck they got to do. But A.J. Brown is going to get that. He's going to get that spotlight back on him. Jalen's going to start throwing that bitch again like he usually does, start putting them legs to work. And the team is just going to put it back together. Once Philly gets to championship round, that's where I think they're going to have the problems. Now, let's move it down a bit, right? The Rams and Detroit. Goff versus Stafford. It's a mirror situation in L.A. The Rams had some good seasons. This year was a somewhat all right season. Stafford's doing his thing. But the Lions are red hot. The Lions are red hot. It's the first time in the playoffs since what? Was it 1990, I believe? Which is insane. I truly think, Eddie, I see the face you're making. Now, hear me out. I feel like if the shit wouldn't have went down the way it did in that game against Dallas, they'd be switched right now. It would be Dallas versus LA, and it'd be Detroit versus Green Bay. Eddie, don't make that face. You know it's true. But either way, things went down how it did. I think Detroit's going to get the win over Los Angeles, and they're going to go on to face Dallas in that rematch. I'm not even going to touch on Green Bay because Green Bay shouldn't be here. They just shouldn't. They lucked out as well. The teams they faced and won against were just having bad days. I'm not even going to touch that. Detroit and Dallas, the rematch from that regular season game. Now, y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Goff because he talked a lot of shit after the no call that happened against the Saints, and he told us to get over it. So I have no sympathy for him after the no call happened against them. Like, he was talking his hot shit about how, did they call it? Didn't want a no call, even though the league said it was supposed to be a no call. So I have no sympathy for him with what happened in that game. Play better. Ain't that what you told us, Jared Goff? Play better. But I do feel like he's going to try to get that redemption against Dallas. But honestly, I feel like it's going to be the same result. I think Dallas is going to finally start to break that curse, get it together. And I truly do believe this is Dak's best year, just like Eddie said. Because he even said himself, Dak's touchdown and interception ratio is down from last year, right? So he's already cleaning up some of those mistakes. Their clock management skills were the reason they lost last year. Mind you, literally was the reason they lost was clock management. If they can just keep their shit together and not make stupid mistakes, there's no reason Dallas shouldn't get to the NFC Championship game, right? Now, NFC Championship game, Philadelphia, Dallas. This was a tricky one for me because a part of me wanted to go with Philadelphia because I feel like the Eagles are hungry enough to get back there. But at the same time, Dallas has something to prove. Because they say it every year, this is our year. But when is it going to finally be enough to where change needs to be made, right? And I think this is the year. I think Dallas is going to scrape by and beat Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to be a blowout this time or a 1-2 touchdown. No, I think it's going to be really close. I think Philadelphia is really going to give them a fucking run for their money. But I do think Dallas is going to edge them out, and get the win here to find themselves in a Super Bowl for the first time since 1995, 96. Now the AFC side. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. After what I read today, I might need to rethink this decision, right? Because I went with Pittsburgh because I thought they're going to find a way because they do it. But it's like negative 60 something for the wind chill in Buffalo to the point where the Bills are asking locals to come out and help shovel snow for $20 an hour. If anyone's accustomed to playing that weather, it's Buffalo. So even though I know it says Pittsburgh, I'm going to have to change it live here. I think Buffalo's going to take it just because of weather conditions.
And there's no TJ Watt.
What you got, Eddie?
There's no TJ Watt.
True. Yeah, so I think Buffalo is going to take this one. So now that Buffalo's taking it, let's go up. Kansas City, Miami. Eddie already said it. Miami's been shit in the bed all year. They showed strong dominance at the beginning of the year, that 70-20 win, right? And then they did another dominant performance later on in the season. But then towards the end, it's like they started coasting, but they were coasting downhill instead of coasting on a straightaway. And it's not good for them, right? Tua's been playing great at times, but not consistent enough to beat Kansas City. Now, I know, here we go. Here it comes, right? Swifties, check in. Swifties, check in. Your resident Swiftie here. Look, it's been a cruel summer for most of the nation, but it's really been a cruel season for Patrick Mahomes, right? I got his stats right here. His turnover, his touchdown interception ratio, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Last year, it was 41-12. Something has been going on in that Kansas City locker room that has been leading to I don't want to say the downfall of Patrick Mahomes, but definitely the angering. Because that man be blowing a damn gasket every goddamn game, it seems like. But Kansas City, you could still have hope, right? Because like y'all said, Travis Kelce does turn it on in the playoffs, right? He's the archer of the Kansas City Chiefs. Hell, he has the bow and arrow celebration. That's 2 right there for y'all, in case y'all ain't keeping track. I threw 2 in there. I'm gonna do one more before we wrap this up. Yeah, but if Travis Kelce can find a way to get out of the struggle he's gonna be in, because let's be honest, Miami's definitely gonna be double, triple teaming Travis the whole fucking game, and it's gonna make it that much harder for Patrick Mahomes to launch that bitch. But it's like you said, Kansas City not only has home field advantage, but with negative 30-degree wind chill, I think Patrick might not be passing it that much because that ball gonna be really wonky in the air with that wind. So I think Pacheco might be one of their secret weapons, and I think Kansas City just might be able to shake off these losses. Little play there. There we go. It's the final one, and get themselves to the divisional round. Once they're there, they're going to be facing Buffalo now. And then we can get a rematch of the AFC Championship because it was Buffalo and Kansas City. And Buffalo really feels like they got robbed in that overtime. But I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to get through them again. Now, let's go up. Cleveland and Houston. Now, I know what y'all are going to say. Cleveland already beat Houston, though. Yes, they barely beat Houston. And they barely beat a Houston that didn't have a CJ Stroud, didn't have a Nico Collins because they were out for injury. So what is Cleveland going to do when you have a fully healthy Texans offense? We're talking about CJ Stroud, who for the majority of the season, until he went out for that concussion, was considered to be someone who could take that MVP title because of how he was playing and how he would be trajected to play. CJ finished the season at 4,100 something passing yards. That is the third most for a rookie quarterback, right? CJ has been compared to Joe Montana. He's been compared to a young Brady. He's been compared to a Dak Prescott even. CJ is playing at a different level since he's been back from injury because he's hungry. And the Texans have said it. D'Amico has said it. The job's not finished. Shout out Kobe. Yes, we're in the wild card, but the job ain't finished until we out. And they don't plan on being out anytime soon. So I think that CJ Nico Collins connection is going to be a real problem for Myles Garrett and the Browns defense. A problem that they won't be able to properly handle. Now, on the other side, I think Will Anderson Jr. is going to have him a fucking field day when it comes to getting to Joe Flacco. Because we got our boy back. He was also one of the ones who was absent from that game. Will Anderson Jr. being back, Joe Flacco going to have to look over his shoulder every goddamn second. So I think Houston's going to beat them, right? Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Houston and the Ravens. It's no secret. Lamar and the Ravens are fucking killing it this year. If they were facing any other team, I'd say they move on to the AFC Championship. And again, it comes down to the weapons you have. Because Noah Brown might not be there for this game, but he will be there for the divisional round. CJ Stroud with the Nico Collins, with the Noah Brown, with the Singletary, with the Petrie. Singletary himself. Let's talk about it. That man has been putting up numbers that people did not expect him to put up this season. I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I feel like we're going to get that win and get ourselves to the AFC Championship. Now, here's why I think we can get the Lone Star Bowl. Last time Kansas City and Houston faced off in the AFC Championship game, Houston was beating them 24-0 all the way into the third quarter and then collapsed. We're different this year. New head coach, new quarterback, new set of receivers. It's a whole new team, right? If Kansas City gets to the AFC Championship game and just assumes it's going to be the same time as last time against Houston, the second Patrick Mahomes gets that ball in the air and it's just a little bit off target, Stingley is snatching that bitch out the air. Let's take a look at Stingley's stats, right? Because Stingley, here we go. Ready? We're talking 5 interceptions this season, which doesn't seem like a lot. But those 5 interceptions were over the span of I think 6 fucking games, which is damn near an interception a game. Patrick Mahomes has been having trouble getting the ball to his receivers because Kansas City's receivers this season have been playing like they didn't just win the Super Bowl last year. So if his receivers are still acting like they can't catch a damn ball, Stingley is going to snatch them bitches out the air and have a field day against Kansas City. CJ won't even have to do much if Stingley's going to keep snatching the damn ball out the air. So if Kansas City doesn't get together and we find ourselves Houston versus Kansas City again, Houston's going to find themselves in their first ever Super Bowl. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Houston and Dallas, right? The Lone Star rivalry. Dallas has the upper hand when it comes to this rivalry, usually. But I feel like this is where Dak is really going to have to prove himself. Because CD's obviously going to be locked down, right? Brandon Cooks is probably going to end up being his go-to guy. Because let's be honest, the Texans defense knows he's going to be going to CD a lot. So they're going to have him locked down. So Dak's going to have to be looking towards Brandon Cooks, looking towards Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's going to have to be catching some receptions too in that game. But it's the Dallas defense that worries me, right? Because besides Micah Parsons, I feel like if the offensive line can properly lock down Micah Parsons and give CJ that time in the pocket that he needs, he's gonna be throwing that bitch all fucking day long. But if the offensive line of the Houston Texans cannot keep Micah Parsons from CJ Stroud, Micah gonna be putting CJ in the ground, and that's what worries me, right? Because the Texans' offensive line is hit or miss. They have their good games and they have their bad games. When they're good, they're fucking great, but when they're bad, it's astronomically bad. But hey, that's just a wild card prediction, right? This could all change after Monday night when the wild card is over. So before we wrap this up, any final thoughts from y'all?
Bro, Micah Parsons is not going to be the only one that would rush CJ Stroud, bro. You're forgetting Jonathan Hankins. You're forgetting Oza Odigizua. You're forgetting DeMarcus Lawrence. You're forgetting Dorrance Armstrong. All those guys have around 5 to 6 sacks in the season. That offensive line is going to struggle. It don't matter who it is.
Hold up, pull my bracket back up real quick. All right, so here's why I differentiate from TJ, because I agree. I think Kansas City, their offensive line is very washy. So I think if they don't collect themselves, we have the Ravens walking through them viciously. And make this clear: the Texans are getting walked through regardless. So I think really the conversation when you get later in the playoffs is Kansas City and the Ravens, who's going to have the better game? Because I can agree the Ravens have their very rough games. We just had one last week against the fucking the Steelers.
I mean,
So I think permitting everyone plays their best ball, we have the Ravens coming out as the best team. Also, while I agree, nobody's really touching San Francisco over there. I do believe the Lions are going to pull off upset probably of the season. I think this may be the biggest upset we see all season, with the Lions coming out of, in my opinion, nowhere to take down San Francisco. And if anyone disagrees, the Ravens are going to be our Super Bowl champions this year. That you're wrong. That's all I gotta say.
okay, I can argue. Okay, so this is my take on the Ravens, right? We all know that they're good, right? But isn't the argument right now is can Lamar Jackson actually win a playoff game? I mean, if we look at his stats, like he has a worse record than Dak Prescott right now in the playoffs.
Right,
He's
which
only
is
won
why I
one
believe it
playoff
was a
game,
good idea for them to give him rest.
right? Again, we don't know what's going to happen with the Ravens this year, but we've seen how Lamar Jackson plays in the playoffs. We saw how Dak Prescott played last year in the wild card against Tom fucking Brady. Huh. Tom fucking Dak Prescott storched him down. Right? But again, if that's the only argument with the Ravens right now is can Lamar Jackson actually pull off a playoff win? And look, right now with Kansas City and Buffalo, I think it's going to be like the divisional game regardless. I feel like it's hard to count out Buffalo against Kansas City because Buffalo has their number. You know, even though Kansas City won those games, it was Buffalo. They were the ones that were controlling the games most of the time. And right now, Buffalo is red hot in the time where they need to be. You know, Josh Allen is playing out of his mind. James Cook is literally running over everybody. We saw what he did to the Cowboys. You know, you got man, what's that wide receiver's name for the Bills? Fucking Gabe something, whatever. Gabe Davis. Um, he's been playing out of his mind. You got Stephon Diggs again with Kansas City. The wide receivers they've been dropping the ball so many times. Like if you count the amount of drops they have, it's like a record-setting number. And I just don't think they're able to beat Buffalo at home, like in Buffalo, against a red-hot Josh Allen right now. And again, I think I think the Ravens are going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl because I believe Josh Allen is going to do what Josh Allen does, which is shit the bed when the lights come bright and that's what he always does, But again, that AFC side of the playoffs, man, that's very unpredictable in my opinion. But again, I just don't think people are counting on Josh Allen that much to the point where they don't see him maybe in the Super Bowl, but I just have that gut feeling that he could be leading the Buffalo Bills to the Super Bowl this year. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I just thought about something, and I said this earlier on in the year, but it kind of fizzled out once they started playing like they didn't know to play football. I think this year we're gonna figure out if the league is really rigged, because if the NFL knows that every Taylor Swift fan is watching the playoffs, they're going to do every possible way to get the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. I know it's a half court shot probably, but it's just like
no. I agree with you. I think there are two scenarios to show it's rigged. If that happens, or I literally gave you a rigged scenario right here. Yeah, this would literally be rigged. Mm-hmm. If we got Dallas versus Houston, that's an NFL rigged scenario right there.
Houston is not making it to the Super Bowl, TJ. You know that. Come on.
We all do.
They will if this bitch is rigged.
They're not making it. I don't care who's rigged for it.
I don't know if y'all saw that logo shit. That logo shit where the logo means that like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What team are there?
San Francisco, Baltimore might be the rigged one, bro. Just because of the fucking logo.
Hey, that sounds like a great. I don't even know who wins that game, but I'm telling you right now, if they jump into the fact that Taylor Swift is at all these games and her boyfriend's in the play, I don't know. We might see some Tom Brady moving the ball over the marker with his foot and the refs looking the other way like this. I don't know. Man. I don't think he would cheat,
bro.
But yeah.
I just don't
if they do, Love, just know that means it's going to be Philadelphia in there again, because they're going to fully capitalize on it. Be like, well, you got to get all the Kelseys in there with Taylor. Then
they better not.
Shit, Donna Kelsey was just at the Performance Center.
They better
she was
not
at the damn NXT Performance Center.
Eagles gonna get hurt again. They better not do that,
bro. I think if it is rigged,
Kelsey doing at the WWE Performance Center.
Her son was there.
If it is rigged, we will see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. If it's rigged, they're gonna milk that Taylor Swift money for everything it's got, because they're gonna want to try to nail Taylor down for next year's halftime game.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, spare me.
Look,
bro. That's.
Oh my God! I just thought about something.
Sleeping on.
Bro.
The halftime performance next year.
There's a part we're not even thinking about.
2025 has got to be Taylor.
Spare me, man.
Here's the thing, though. Taylor also revealed she and Travis have been dating since August, right? Imagine if it is rigged. Chiefs in there. I'm about to throw you a scenario that the NFL would love. Chiefs win, right? Taylor's celebrating there. They put the mic on Travis. They're like, you just won another Super Bowl. You got your girlfriend here. Well, how does it feel? This nigga will propose. This nigga would propose to Taylor Swift. You gonna tell me the NFL wouldn't love that shit?
They
NFL would be like, yes.
But also at the same time, when the Chiefs get eliminated, you know who's getting blamed.
I'm blaming her now.
Let me talk about that real quick.
I want to be cheating.
Let me talk about that.
Giving signs to Mahomes.
I want y'all niggas. I want all y'all niggas out there who are seriously trying to blame Taylor for this shit. I want y'all to think about this. Let's take Taylor out of it and replace it with somebody else. Let's say it's Liv Morgan, right? I'm gonna start out there. Let's say somehow Travis and Liv started dating.
Don't curse at me.
Would niggas be trying to blame Liv Morgan for the Chiefs losing?
Why would I blame Liv Morgan for anything negative?
Damn, it's Liv Morgan's fault that Patrick Mahomes threw that interception. It's Liv Morgan's fault that Kadarius Toney dropped that fucking ball. That's how some of y'all niggas sound, saying Taylor Swift is the reason the Chiefs are losing.
No,
it ain't Taylor's fault that these niggas are dropping the ball that Patrick is throwing.
It's because they see that shit as a distraction, bro.
How?
She's a distraction.
How?
I don't know
Even
how.
if she's not there, they still lose.
Because her essence is there. Her essence is there. They've been doing the commercials.
If that's the fucking case,
bro,
if that's the case, no wife or girlfriend of an NFL player should be in the stadium.
Good.
I say the same thing about Mahomes' wife.
I hate Mahomes' wife.
Loft,
Bro.
let's be so logical right now. Are you
What?
saying that the reason that the Chiefs do bad is because of the residue of Taylor Swift left on Travis Kelce?
No, not on him. I
No,
think
no.
her being in the arena gets a bad mojo on the
Right,
shit
right. But
immediately.
what if she's not there and it's an away game? Which has
It
happened.
doesn't matter. She's all her like it's like her ghost. It's like the ghost of Christmas past. She's there.
So you're saying the Taylor Swift
Okay,
residue?
but last
Because look
season,
at the
Don't say
stats.
these
residue.
niggas were getting their asses beat too at times, and who were niggas blaming then? Is it just what? Who are niggas gonna blame last year when the Chiefs were losing when Taylor wasn't even in the picture?
They were blaming his brother.
Yeah, him too. He be dancing.
See,
Fuck
niggas
him.
want to niggas want to
Don't like
blame
him
Taylor
either.
for being the reason the Chiefs are
He's
losing.
worse.
If the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, keep that same energy. I want to see the same niggas saying Taylor's
It
the
ain't
reason they're
gonna
losing to
happen.
be like Taylor's the reason they won.
Baltimore's going to beat
I
them.
want
in
to
Super
see
Bowl.
the same niggas
Bro.
do that.
Again, isn't Kansas City like one of the most marketable NFL teams right now just because of Taylor Swift?
I said Baltimore. What the fuck?
Yes.
Is Kansas City not one of the most marketable teams right now?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Kansas
yeah.
City's not. Travis Kelce is. Travis
No, don't
Kelce.
do that.
Kansas
Don't do
City.
Kelce
that.
family
Don't
Kansas
is.
do
City
that.
as
No, because
the Chiefs
think about it.
organization
Think
right
about it.
now. Bro, the Chiefs organization right now is the most marketable team right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And it's
Travis
solely
is on
because
the
of Taylor
team.
Swift's presence.
Yeah.
The stock went up.
Exactly. They're getting national media now. We didn't give a fuck about the Chiefs like a couple years ago.
Last year.
That's not true. That is not true.
That is
not
true.
true
What
at
do you
all.
mean?
I don't know about that.
That is not true, niggas. Patrick Mahomes has a fucking animation in the game because of how he's been playing. This team has always been marketable. This team has
But it
always
wasn't-
been that marketable fucking team. What are y'all talking about?
It got better. It got. I'm not going to say
a
it's
lot-
never been.
bro.
The stock went up when Taylor
The
got
stock
there.
went up.
The
You got a
stock
point.
definitely went up.
You got a point.
Look, there's a difference. You're thinking positive marketing. Because if that's the case, we could throw the Jets in there too. Because all the shit Aaron Rodgers be talking on Pat McAfee's show is making national fucking news. That's negative marketing, though. Every team
Look,
that has a star athlete is going to be marketable for the NFL.
all I gotta
The
say
Texans. When's the last time the Texans had a prime time fucking game?
I don't know.
Exactly.
All
You
right,
can't even
all
fucking
right.
think
Fucking
about
no.
it. They
All
had
right,
one this year.
People. Let's be logical here. We are not about to go into a football argument based off Taylor Swift.
I am.
Lafayette, you were
If it
not
gets us
included.
views, I'll do it.
Bro,
Yeah, no,
Wait, if it gives us views,
Look,
I'll do it. Wait a
look.
minute.
Right,
The
but we're
reason,
cutting.
the reason
Right,
for Travis
right,
Kelce's
right.
slump, bro, the reason for Travis Kelce's terrible year is because of the fact that he's fucking old. He's fucking 34 years
first of
old.
all,
As a
let
tight,
me-
that's old.
Let's look at his stats too. Let me look at this because I wouldn't even call it a terrible year. You gotta remember, he's been
He
getting
hasn't had a
locked
terrible
down
year,
every
but-
damn game, like double teamed.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
he's still been
look,
putting up. Actually, he's done. He's like on par with his 2019 and 21 season, right? 93 receptions, 984 yards, averaging 10.6 yards a carry and 5 touchdowns. He's literally on par with his 19 and 21 season. The only difference is I think they're putting the whole team's failures on Travis because he's literally playing like he did in 21 when they were a Super Bowl team, in 2019
More
a
eyes.
Super Bowl team.
It's just more eyes. That's all it is.
If we really want to put the blame on someone, and I hate putting the blame on one person, it would have to be Patrick Mahomes. 14 interceptions, the most he's ever thrown in his career.
But I mean,
And
you
then
gotta
he's
look
getting mad at refs when some of the passes he's throwing are bad passes. Everyone acts
Yeah,
like all
but-
his passes are good. Some of those
No,
passes
no,
are
no, no, no,
terrible
no, no,
fucking
no,
passes.
no, no, don't
You
do
gotta
that. Don't
also
do
look
that.
at his wide
Don't do
receiver
that.
core, though.
Thank you.
Yes, the receiver core, it's both. It is
It's
both.
terrible.
The receiver
it's
core
not.
is trash, but some of those passes he be throwing be either way fucking overhead or way out of reach. I'm not saying every single one, but some of those passes he be throwing are too flashy and are nowhere near the target.
I'll watch ball that Scotland have the ball right here and drop
when
it.
he is on target, I was about to say that when he is on target, them receivers be acting like they allergic to the fucking football.
Remember the Eagles game when he was wide open? Whoop, right through his hands. I'm like, yo. Now I will say, I think Mahomes underthrew it a little bit because he had to reach back a little bit. But Mahomes can throw the ball down the field whenever he wants. He has an unlimited arm, so you should be already practicing those routes. The fact that he dropped that in the end zone and the receivers have been doing that all year. Mahomes will throw the ball and they'll just drop it. I don't know what happened. That's why he be getting so mad because like y'all can't go out here last year catching the ball, last year making all these catches, but this year now you just don't know how to catch the ball. Now Mahomes has been throwing the same way this whole time. He always been doing all that crazy shit, but it always works. So don't act like you can't catch now, especially when this team is a lot of people expect you to win, and now all the eyes are looking at you. You can't come on.
Let's talk about that. What happened to the receivers? Like, why are they all of a sudden acting this way?
Hey, I don't know if y'all heard. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the term of Super Bowl hangover. Y'all never heard of that?
Yeah.
If that's the case, them niggas they've been riding that shit for the past few years.
Look, bro, like the first year, the first year they won the Super Bowl, they kind of had a struggling season as well. Like I think they went to the NFC Championship, but they had a struggling season as well. But again, I think that might be the case. That damn Super Bowl hangover, bro.
I don't know, man.
You could also make that case for Philly, bro.
They're different because the Eagles are either on or they're off. And even when it comes to playoffs, they know how to turn it on. But
they've been off.
Yeah, this year, but last year they were great. So it's like I can never really count them out because they always find a way to do something. They are just a very hungry team in the playoffs. This year, I know Jalen is hurt. AJ Brown is not playing the way it looks like because he got hurt.
Yeah, you got to count the injuries.
I love nbatae, but I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's hurt too. Man,
again, like, look.
All right,
from what I saw,
let's look at this. All right. Okay, so I pulled up Jalen's stats from this year. Nigga, what the fuck?
Almost fell again.
So he's thrown more passing yards this year than last year, but he's also up in the interception ratio. 23 and 15 when last year he was 22 and 6, right?
God damn.
You also got. I mean, you can count the rushing touchdowns too, but I mean, like, damn near 90% of them were fucking 1 yard touch pushes.
And they have that move on lock. 9 times out of 10 they're going to get that. So I mean, they got the league wanting to ban the move, and I'm like, the QB sneak has been there the entire time.
Nah, that QB sneak is different, bro.
I don't understand why teams want it to be banned. The QB sneak has always been there. He was just trying to protect it.
That's so stupid to me. Ban the tush push, nigga. If y'all don't know they're going for it at this point,
I get it.
Like,
I get it.
Arizona stopped it like once.
Look. As a Cam Newton fan, I know what a damn good QB sneak is, bro.
Yeah.
I just wish Jalen Hurts would be able to do that because I know he could do it. But
I think isn't Cam Newton taller than Jalen though? Because Cam would just go us.
He's taller, but
Cam would just
that nigga.
I don't know. I think Jalen just likes to get his ass touched.
Yeah. And it's about Nick Sirianni. I don't know how good. I don't think Nick Sirianni is a bad coach.
He's a horrible coach.
You think so?
Yeah.
I definitely don't like the pick on him.
I don't like him.
I ain't got no real issue with him.
You know what's wild? Loft, y'all niggas lucked out because it popped up on my timeline today. 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, but 3 years ago in 2021, before y'all got Nick Sirianni, Dennis Allen was being interviewed to be the Eagles head coach. So y'all niggas are really lucked out.
Y'all them.
That nigga Dennis Allen. I forgot you a Falcons fan.
Unfortunately, this is my life. But I mean,
fucking fire Nick Sirianni, hire Bill Belichick, bro.
Bill Belichick's coming to Atlanta. He's going to do the most forbidden door.
No. I don't think he is because here's the thing. Apparently, there's a team that hasn't fired their coach yet, that's seriously looking at Belichick, which has me like intrigued because I want like what fucking team is it? Because first of all, 8 teams have already fired their head coach this offseason. That's a quarter of the fucking league. 8 teams.
Yeah. I think Dallas might fire.
If you ask me,
more.
bro, Belichick to Dallas,
Bro,
that
be insane, dog. That defense is gonna be elite.
I'm not gonna lie, they would have to nerf y'all niggas. They really would have to nerf y'all niggas if y'all
Hell
got
no.
Belichick. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell no.
No, we can't have that. We can't have that.
I go, no. I want Dallas to lose. I just thought about they got freaking Dan Quinn. That bum. I hate Dan Quinn.
That bum.
Bro.
I hate Dan. I just thought about that. I forgot about Dan Quinn.
Bro, he literally got Seattle like the Legion of Boom.
I don't care what he got. He also got out of Atlanta. I hate Dan Quinn. I just thought about that. I forgot he's just like.
He got y'all to the Super Bowl.
No, he did not. Kyle Shanahan did, and then that's the reason why we lost.
I forgot.
Kyle Shanahan ran us into a wall by running Hail Marys while we're up 25 points. Stupid Kyle Shanahan. Hate Kyle Shanahan. And Dan Quinn and Matt Ryan.
Did you say Matt Ryan also?
And Julio Jones too, because he on the Eagles running around. Julio Jones running slants on the Eagles, thinking that he good. No, I want someone to crack him. I want someone. Hey, Tampa Bay, when they on linebackers, if they run a slant, Julio Jones go over the middle. Straight Malcolm Jenkins in the Super Bowl.
This nigga said Bounty Gate.
Clock him.
This nigga said Bounty Gate.
You don't gotta kill him. You don't gotta kill him. Don't give him no help. Helmet enough. Just a little shoulder. Little just right in his head. See what happens. Little love tap. Don't injure him. Don't do nothing dirty. But just knock him on his hiney.
Nah, Ray Lewis him, bro. Fucking hit him like fucking Ray Lewis.
You ain't never gonna. We're never gonna see a Ray Lewis, man.
That he just moves out the way and they.
You said what?
Imagine somebody goes to do that. He just slides out the way and they face plant.
I'll be in. Julio Jones not even that fast no more. He's
old. He's
he
old.
Just knows for himself. Julio Jones.
Let me pull this shit up real quick. See if it actually wants to cooperate.
I thought we were wrapping this show up almost 20 minutes ago.
Well, we started talking about real shit. You feel me? Real shit.
Real shit.
Is this the one? This is the one. Now, before we I hate y'all niggas. Why am I getting ads, bro? Before we wrap this up, this is called the Throw It on a Dime podcast. So I want to end every episode with a dime piece. One of the best fucking passes around. This is gonna be different each week, but this is gonna be our one for today. We're gonna throw it back to middle of the season, which was what the fuck is it trying to get me to do? Oh my god, where's my tab?
Hey, I better see that Dak touchdown against Detroit, bro. I better see that Dak touchdown. That 92-yard bomb.
Why am I being threatened right now, sir?
Nasty request.
I know greatness. I know greatness.
I feel like I'm being threatened. Okay, there we go. There we go. What the fuck am I hearing? Bro, what? Oh, it's a fucking ad again. I hate these ads, bro. The NFL can kiss my ass when it comes to ads.
That's a Taylor Swift commercial.
Y'all niggas. It was not. All right, here we go. So our first dime comes to us from Week 9 of the NFL, Tampa Bay versus the Houston Texans. Tampa Bay got a go-ahead touchdown to end this game, but this dot from CJ to Tank. Just look at this shit. Just look at this shit, bro. Bitch. All over the tape. Look at him. Standing on business. Standing on business. Right? Right? So that's our first ever dime for the Throw It on the Dime podcast. Next week, we're gonna be back with the updated divisional bracket section of our bracket, because either one of us is gonna correctly get it all right, or we're all gonna be wrong in some type of way. And telling you right now, I feel like I might be the closest. But just know if Pittsburgh somehow beats Buffalo and my original one is valid,
Pittsburgh is not doing
I'm gonna come in here and do the. I said if. But until next time, thank you for joining the Throw It on a Dime podcast. And if you didn't like this episode, this is all I gotta say.
Come on, man.
Bro.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Watch some football. Eat some wings. Peace.